Hey everybody, I'm Adam Kovic. I've never sounded better in my entire life. Even right now, my eyebrows are acting better than I ever seen them before. I can't believe I can control one eyebrow independently, but that's beside the point. What is the point? Is welcome to Dude Soup.
That was really good.
Except for this part.
I was going to say I knew he was going to say Dude Soup.
We
and
can
you
do this.
still got-
Oh, that's
Fix
better.
that.
Yeah. Probably would have been better with your hand at my ass.
Dude Soup. You would have infinitely.
So much better. Anyway, hi everyone.
What was that clip? What is that clip? It's like a guy
It's free.
jumping.
Is what it is. Free.
There's like
It's
a.
what are,
free?
Yeah,
what are
it's royalty free is
Getty
what it is.
images?
Yeah.
I think it's shortly after the stock market crash in 1928 or something.
The
like
guy
that.
at 29.
Anyway, that.
Watch out for 29.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Dude Soup this week. We got three fine sponsors. We got Honey. Get Honey for free at joinhoney.com/dude. Fleur. Get your first 3 Fleur fragrances samples 20% off at fleur.com/dudesoup. And Squarespace. If you go to squarespace.com/dudesoup, you'll save 10% on your first purchase, but more from them later. First, let me introduce my guest, James Willems.
Thank
back
you.
in the,
Very happy to be a guest on the show. Very
and
happy.
from Retro Replay, two fine guests, Troy Baker and Nolan North. How you guys doing?
So good.
Yeah.
Doing well.
I feel like this has been a long time coming.
This has been a long time coming.
Well, it's weird
long
because-
train running.
I've experienced you two for a long time.
Wow.
I don't even get a choice.
You don't know us.
You've
you
experienced us.
You're in my ear.
Yeah.
You're in my video games.
Yeah.
You're
everywhere.
I'm catching up on 6 Feet Under.
Oh,
There's
wow.
I'm just like
You
that
were
guy
at 6
looks
feet under? Did you play Cadaver?
No, I didn't. I actually had some lines. No.
Did you?
You know what's
Oh,
crazy?
no.
Want me to tell you a quick story about
Yeah,
that?
No.
We
It
were
will be quick.
we were shooting the
Shit.
a couple episodes of that, and then Alan Ball walked up beside me. I'm watching something else. He goes, "In season 4, I think I'm going to have you come out of the television." And because I was a character that Claire was watching,
Yeah.
and she said, "I think you're going to come out of the television and start talking to her through the television, and then we'll do this thing where then she meets you, and you're the actor, but only through the television is she talking to you." And I was like, "That sounds great." Never happened.
Oh, we
Never
gotcha.
happened. I was that close
To getting out of the TV.
to getting out of the TV at 6 feet under and actually being a real character. So, but it was a nice little, fun little small part.
Yeah.
There are no small parts. They're
Yes,
just
there
small actors.
Small actors.
But I guess for those who don't know, besides,
Who
Retro
are
Replay-
these people?
I'm trying to. There's so many. I looked.
doesn't
I looked
know?
both you up on IMDb, which is maybe I don't know how you go about uncredited and credited roles in the entertainment world, but it says Troy Baker has 350 acting roles and Nolan North 401.
Ah, you got me beat by 51.
I'm a lot older. You got plenty of time. Plenty of time.
I watched your guys'.
350?
That's what it says.
Is that really?
That's
That made
almost
tired?
a day. I am. It's almost a day. It's almost a roll per day in a calendar year.
Did you guys hear about Joel Schumacher?
What about Joel
Joel Schumacher came out and said he's like slept with like 50,000. He's had 50,000 sexual partners or something like that.
How do you keep track? That's like counting in the same way that McDonald's.
I was gonna say it's like counting your roles.
like
50,000.
50,000.
Something like that. Yeah, it was like 50,000.
Just want to let you know,
Well,
you're
no, well, we'll-
36,784.
Wilt Chamberlain, famous basketball player, he did. I think he said he did. He literally said 10,000.
Yeah.
And they actually looked at his age, and it was
It made sense. Or
no,
Yeah.
it was like
Mathematically
you
implausible.
literally had 8 partners a week.
That's what
for like
days a
50
week.
and it's like 8 different people, and I mean, I understand if you're on the road, but
Demonetized.
I mean,
I don't know.
10,000.
There's no-
So
there's
50,000.
The Joel Schumacher
And
thing.
he's like, for some reason, Chamberlain tonight looking exhausted in the car. He's like,
Joel Schumacher. I include my mother because I was inside her at one point too.
oh, that's fair.
Joel Schumacher is
I
at
guess
50,000.
something- it's
Well, they
something
did the
like
math and
that.
said it was like 55 a
Yeah,
day.
someone did the math based on his age. He would have had to like start having sex at 13 and not stopped. Had sex with like 55 people a day until today.
You went around the world more than the sun did.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's like even if it's something like that, even if he's ballparking it, that is. His penis would be like just a limp noodle, just like it
Put me
doesn't
in,
do
coach.
anything
Put me in
anymore.
here. No,
I can't.
you had too much, kid. Go.
Yeah.
I don't.
And if Mrs. Schumacher had 2, she's a whore.
And at
Yeah.
what point? At what point you just kind of go? It's all kind of the same. It's all like there hasn't been. I remember 23,592. That was the one. That, I've been chasing that dragon ever since.
That's the other question. What psychopath counts
Oh.
those?
That's not even psychopath. That is a whole other level of crazy that can't be described by a word in the English language. That's just.
That's a point where you're so narcissistic, your penis is taken over.
Yeah.
And just said, no, I start counting.
There is no Joel anymore, only Zool. That's a weird reference to make.
I like it.
Ghostbusters?
We're talking about the director of Falling Down and Batman Forever.
Yeah,
right?
I mean,
okay.
it's interesting that you picked Falling Down, but yeah.
I always thought it was
Yeah.
strange. That and Phone Booth, if I recall.
And Phone Booth.
A
And I remember
58-minute feature, I believe.
How does he have time to stop screwing to
That's what he
make,
makes
do a movie?
55-minute movie.
I mean,
with
that's why he had to
Colin
make
Farrell.
Batman so
Action.
sexual.
Also, yeah, what do you,
Action.
what do
I'm
you
doing
count
it
as-
right now.
Some people count the other things as sex too, though. Doesn't have
things
to
as
be
sex?
intercourse.
Oh, that's how many
A brief
times I've
conversation is how
masturbated.
what I count.
Partners? Or it could be a dance partner. Does that count? No, what are you saying?
There could be a language barrier thing here.
If
right?
With Joel Schumacher?
if I'm in the room with anyone and I'm saying a room up to the size of, let's say, a convention center, I count them as a sexual partner.
Okay.
Okay.
Just
I've had sex in a hotel, so I count every other person
that
staying in
That's
that
fair.
hotel. Because
That's
they
fair.
were within earshot.
that's fair.
I'm a screamer. I'm a bit of a crier and a screamer.
Which in what order? Do you normally cry first and then scream? Or
It's just always
Everything,
spontaneously.
yeah.
At once. It usually starts out as a whimper and
Yeah.
then it's okay.
It just builds up.
I feel like the odd man out because I'm the one who just it's just muffled grunts.
Oh,
And it'd be like,
Is it just that too? But is it just good night?
like you're trying to solve a difficult math problem. What's the tip on $45?
It's better than a.
Oh, I understand.
What's
Because
the
you're
base?
doing
I like that, Grant. It's better than a shrug and an apology. Like, sorry.
we both knew what this was going to be.
well, now that we've broken the ice, you
Ice
find
broken.
it's
Ice
been-
broken.
it's like a hymen. But you fine gentlemen have a fun little channel called Retro Replay.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, we're going to go back to that?
I want to just for those who don't know, you guys are
Yes.
Over
visiting.
10,000 served. See how I brought that?
There you go.
It's
More than
a,
that,
it's a
actually.
weird thing to count. I just I don't know.
Subscribers?
Oh yeah.
Subscribers you can count.
Yeah.
Sexual partners, that's a little weird.
Yeah. What I was actually curious. What you guys have been doing this job for a while? Like been in countless. Well, we got a number, but
we can count. It's counted.
At what point did you guys like talk to each other and go, "Hey, let's make a channel together and do this fun thing that looks just so easy. Any idiot could do it."
We both looked at each other with the same look and cocked our head the same way. It was like
It's kind of like we're
two dogs going, do I sniff your butt first or do you sniff mine? What are we doing?
just go for it. Just lift the tail.
We've worked together on several different projects and knew of each other and were friends, but didn't like hang until Uncharted 4.
Yeah, and then the con circuit when we started doing a few conventions, then all of a sudden, I was like, "Oh, you like bourbon too? Well, I like bourbon.
Go on.
Let's go have
what
some
other
bourbon together."
commonalities do we
Start a
have?
gaming channel.
What are the three
If
things?
you're, there are other three things about him. If when you're on the road with someone, and we're like doing the press tour for Uncharted 4, and then we'd like start doing the con circuit, and if you're in a strange place, and the only thing that's familiar is the other person that you're with, it's a real good testament to know if like this is a good hang, and we found out, I was like, this is a good hang. We should do this. And then the conversations that we were having is like people would freak out to hear like the real conversations that you have because they know us from our work and they know us from like being in a public forum. But it's like the nitty gritty real conversation. I was like, well, what if we just did that? And then there's so many games that because I was a gamer growing up, but I was a poor gamer, so there's so many things that I didn't have the opportunity to play. And then there's games that he never played. So it's like, well, why don't we just go back and you need to understand this culture and let's go back through and start playing these games. Yeah. And it was always really kind of pointing to the fact that he had never played Uncharted, which is just mind-blowing.
Yeah. And we got together with, when I did a show called Con Man with Alan Tudyk, Nathan Fillion, and PJ Harsma was one of the producers on that. And we became friends there too. And he has a studio space that we've been always talking about doing some stuff. And our other producing partner, Drew Lewis,
Lewis.
That's it, right? Isn't it? It's Lewis, right?
Lewis. I've been calling him
I know you have.
Lul.
I know, but
Oh no.
Lewis?
I think so.
Ah, man.
Oh boy.
You could be wrong.
I could be wrong. But it's Drew, right? The first name?
I don't know.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
We keep meeting in the parking lot.
Just remember
No,
his
but
shape.
he's also, you know,
Drew's the
bit-
glue, man.
Yeah, he's a bit of a gamer himself, and I think originally when we were all laying it out, it was kind of like, oh, it'd be cool to see them play old games, and then the whole retro thing came in, and they built us a set, and we all kind of sat. And I remember the first time we ever did it, we sat there on the couch going, okay, well, what are we gonna do? What's the plan? We're like, I have no idea.
No
Just turn
idea.
on the cameras and see what happens. And
There was no plan, and still no plan.
Well, I mean, I enjoy the channel because, like you said, it's almost like a podcast.
It is a podcast.
It's a lot of like sort of our mindset too when we did this stuff where we're like, we're not great gamers or anything. It's sort of the background noise, but it's like cool seeing you guys play like a fishing game and then tell a story about fishing, or like playing Out of the Matrix and just sort of bullshitting and just being like, it's fun.
Ooh,
It became-
that's a
well-
deep philosophical dive when you get into the
hey,
Matrix.
what's the motto?
We have
that
an
you said?
unwritten rule. We don't get off the couch until we've learned something about the other person, which is cool after 50, 60 episodes or something like that. So I mean, we've been doing this for a year and a half, something like that. And there's still something that every time, and it's never scripted, that we'll learn something about each other. Well, speaking of the fishing episode, which I still haven't caught a fish my entire life. Even in a video game, I can't catch a fish. Terrible. I'm looking over at him. He's got this little flannel shirt on, and I'm just making. I was like, I like that. Then a nice shirt. He goes, thanks. It's my grandfather's shirt. And I went, what? How do you still have your grandfather's shirt? And I was like, when did he die? Junior in high school. He was a junior in high school. And I went,
Yeah.
that means that you have held on to that since you were like 15, 16
Yeah.
years old, from Providence, Rhode Island to New York, all of the experiences there. It flew across the country with you to LA, to the being on Port Charles, to meeting his wife, to having his kids, to sitting here on the couch.
Yeah.
And there's not a bare thread or a missing button.
Never missed a button. It's amazing.
Wow.
That's a fact.
I knew how to build them back in the day.
I was gonna say, do you wear the shirt like often? Is it like something that you?
No, it's something it's
Wow.
it's just it's one of those shirts, your t-shirt, and so it's a little just throw it on
Yeah.
over. But it's it's been
But you wore it because that was like he would take you fishing.
it was
And
just
so
one of
that
those
was like-
one of those things. Oh, it'd be kind of cool just to have that for today's episode, whatever. But
So that's our show.
Yeah.
but I
our
also
show's
also you know it's like you're saying it's not about the game, it's all about the hang.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where it's kind of the backdrop, because quite frankly I'm piss poor at it.
No, you're getting.
Yeah, but come on,
getting-
let's seriously. My kids watch these YouTubers, and they're like, "I know how you do it," and boom, and they're just crushing levels. And
Who are they watching that
And
makes
puss.
those sounds? Did I do it? Boom.
Boom, cut your boom.
It's
the
a-
tiniest
watch-
controller I've
the
ever
tiniest
seen.
controller. I don't know what does at Fortnite. Bang.
But I mean, like, I'm saying, like, from my perspective, I've always, for some reason, I fanboy in a weird way over voice actors more than actual physical actors. I think because you spend more time with a video game, and
Well,
like,
I think, like, when you watch a movie, it's a passive experience,
Yes.
right? But when you play a video game, it's like, well, you are that character. So that
Yeah.
character is, in a sense, your voice. And I do think I've always felt that you more identify
100%.
with it.
Yeah.
So,
100%,
Or like-
and that's why I think movies aren't they don't work. A lot of the movies don't translate because. Uncharted again just lost another director. It keeps going round
Oh,
and
like
round.
adaptations of
Yeah,
video games?
Yeah, but the problem is like you said, you spent hours and hours playing Uncharted, and you are Nathan Drake when you're
Yeah,
running
yeah.
through there. Now somebody expects you to pay a bunch of money to sit there and passively watch and go.
I wish I could do that.
I wouldn't have done that.
And it's worked so well in the past, like Assassin's Creed, huge blockbuster success. I also think that that's the reason why a lot of games fail, because Guillermo del Toro, of all people, was the one that I heard say this. If you set out to make a game like a movie, you will fail. Because you're completely neglecting the thing that makes it what it is. It's a game, it's an interactive experience. You have agency in it. Like you said, you get to be one of those characters. If I just want to present to you this narrative and somehow cinematically give you the same kind of experience that you would if you were just playing a game, you're fundamentally flawed. You will not, that's why people, that term ludonarrative dissonance, to where I feel out of sync with that main character. was having a conversation with a developer today about what we can do with this character to kind of flesh him out a little bit. And
They were like, just read the fucking lines.
just read the please. For the love of God. I just don't get it, Neil. Like, this is what I think Joel would be doing. I'm not saying that at all. It's just picking something out of convenience. But there's a huge fundamental problem where if I'm watching a movie, I can show a character that is hesitant to do something, right? Like, I don't think I want to go outside today. You as the player is like, well, I don't want to stay in the house watching TV. I want to go outside. I want to fight those aliens. I want to go to war. I want to solve the puzzle, whatever it is. That's a huge problem. And so we have to craft and create a whole new way of telling stories that fits within just the game space that doesn't apply to TV or film.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I mean, to that point, there have been a couple movies I would cite. Maybe Scott Pilgrim and Edge of Tomorrow are probably the
Edge of Tomorrow would have been the best game.
But I mean, those are. I feel like, I mean, it's based on a
PDK.
comic and all that stuff. Yeah, so it's like those are obviously inspired by video games, but there is a way of doing it, but it's video game inspired. It's not a one-to-one adaptation, which I think is what the
Exactly.
point. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like
Right.
it's playing Uncharted versus watching Uncharted. Like, you can watch someone play Uncharted. It's probably not as much fun.
But
Those
it's,
exist
for some
but-
people, it's entertaining for them.
Yeah, unless they play like crap like I do, and I'm always just following
It
them.
was wildly entertaining for me to watch the
Yeah, we
game
did that.
mechanic of jumping. There's a lot of jumping.
Well, that's what the other thing we did on
Or
Retro
photo mode.
Replay. Besides the retro games that we played, that was probably one of the biggest successes we had. I've never played Uncharted, so we came up with the idea. I was like, well, let's let people watch you play for the first time.
16 episodes.
It was like torture. Watching
just
myself die.
In terms of your like career, getting to that point where you hadn't played Uncharted, like obviously you said you had a history with games,
Yeah.
but you didn't really grow up with like a history.
I did, as a kid.
Yeah.
But my
You know,
my
the
goal-
handheld football.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
Vibrating
I had,
platform.
I was we had an Atari in the basement, and I remember my friend got a Nintendo, and I went over there and played some of that at one point. But I was just kicked outside. It was like, go play with a stick, go play with a ball.
Yeah.
And I was and my goal was I wanted to play baseball. That was my goal. I went to college for that. But and then it's like, okay, now I got to get. I just was never exposed to that. The gaming culture.
Yeah.
Until all of a sudden I'm in it. I'm part of it, and I got to tell you now I'm like all I want to do is play.
Yeah.
I want to get to Uncharted 2 because we got through one. He's forbids me from going home to play Uncharted 2 because you got to play in front of people.
There's so many moments in that game that
There's this great train sequence. You're gonna love it. It's really cool.
I mean, that's okay, I guess.
I've watched my kids play, so
Yeah,
I've
but
got an idea.
There's a big difference. It's the same thing with The Last of Us. There's a huge difference when you get to Winter and the first time that you move the stick and she moves. That to me, I selfishly want to see the look on his face when he is in the train and Uncharted, or when the gun truck comes around in that crash cam. Those kind of moments, because those are the moments that I, as a gamer, were like, this is something special. This is something different, and it's the most immersive thing. It's the same thing like playing Red Dead. I really, really want, of all the games, that's one that I feel is just wired for you.
Yeah, but I just feel like I'm going to put in Red Dead,
And
like a month later, my family's left. There's a
later.
beard. I'm just
Yeah.
sitting there. My shoulders are frozen in this position. I'm just covered in urine.
Yeah.
It's not mine. I don't know.
But what a game.
my camp is amazing.
Oh my God, I have so much gold.
I'm
You
gonna
get
do,
gold, right?
I'm gonna do a quick ad. This is the stopping point for the ad read. Real quick. Just want to remind. Oh yeah, that's it. And then we'll do the ad read there, I guess. Or should I just lead into it?
You gotta do it. Just
Remember
do a
the
clap
signal?
for
Oh yeah.
Omar.
Well, we're going to talk more about leaving your family behind, but first, a quick word from Honey. So everyone shops online. It's just the way it is. Personally, I love not having to drive to the store or deal with people, but more often than not, we are paying more for things online than we need to. So don't let those lost savings hurt you ever again by using Honey. It's an easy-to-use web browser extension that works for you. Honey finds coupon codes and will apply them automatically to your online purchases, and it's really easy. I've actually personally used the service a few times, saved a few buckaroos, especially on Amazon. Most recently, I bought an air fryer, and there it was. Honey just saved me a few bucks right there. No hassle. It was the easiest thing in the world. So the average Honey user actually saves about $126 a year. So go and start thinking, what can you buy with an extra $126? All sorts of things. So for something that costs you nothing, why would you pass that up? It's just a simple little thing. There's really no reason not to use Honey. It is free to use. It installs on your computer in just 2 clicks, and it'll save you money. So get Honey for free today by going to joinhoney.com/dude. Once again, that is joinhoney.com/dude. Thank you, Honey.
Got the honey industry to go. This show is brought to you by butter.
This brought to you by and now a word from our sponsor, the spokesman of Honey.
He has a speech impediment.
That's
Why does he do it? I don't know.
great joke. That's a great
All right, Justin,
Joe.
calm down.
You can have it. It's yours.
Yeah, you can have it.
Take it on the road.
Okay.
It's fine.
Okay.
And
Mine.
It's all yours. Hello, welcome back. We're talking to Troy Nolan.
We're talking.
You guys are.
I'm also a guest.
You're
a guest.
You're filler.
I am technically filler. I'm like the Andy Richter.
Is that what you want to be?
I mean, yeah,
To
sure.
his Conan? Is
Absolutely.
that-
I'm just saying in this scenario.
You're
Like,
Conan?
I'm not.
I don't wanna be Conan.
Andy Richter isn't the guest of the show. You know.
No.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
I want to be
is the
Chevy
guest or
Chase
whatever,
for
but
those 2 wonderful
I am
weeks
here.
where he had a show.
to help him.
Okay.
Chevy Chase? Did you just bring on the Chevy Chase show?
Yeah, was it 5 weeks? I think maybe.
Maybe, but it was
It was hard to watch.
so much fun to watch. Are you kidding me?
It was hard to watch.
This is a late night talk show.
Yes.
He did a late night talk show.
Yeah.
Is
for
it better than Magic Johnson's late night talk show?
Yes, because it's Chevy Chase. And it's Chevy Chase bringing people and just taking the piss the entire time. And they're like, I feel like I'm on Carson. And he's...
I wonder if you can get that anywhere. I mean, it's got to be out there in the
has to
ether
be on the
somewhere,
YouTube.
right?
Chevy Chase has always come off as the kind of person who doesn't like people.
I think he is a shining example of a misanthrope, 100%.
Yeah.
I think he and Bill Murray are that special brand of crazy.
Bill Murray is like less
But Bill
maybe
Murray-
evil.
No, he's a kind. I think
Yeah.
Bill Murray. I mean,
Sure.
there's a great
But
documentary.
still
about
crazy.
that.
So
Yeah.
crazy.
Chevy- I once listened to an interview where someone else was talking about Chevy Chase, and they said that one of his favorite things to do was to go to restaurants and then say to the people he was with, "Watch this," and then trip the waiter.
Oh.
To him, it was the funniest thing he's ever seen.
See, the thing
That's a
I think that's
terrible
that's like
human
I
being.
appreciate how much you enjoy comedy, but that's a little
at the expense
crazy.
of other people. It
That's
should always be
that's
the
like
expense of yourself.
sociopathic
Yeah,
behavior.
But Bill Murray's different, I think, because Bill Murray is. I think he's just painfully normal. I think Bill Murray is.
What?
Bill Murray. One of my favorite quotes I've ever heard Bill Murray said. They said, "Isn't it great to be rich and famous?" And he just, without pausing, he just goes, "Rich is good, famous not so much." And there's stories. You got to see that documentary.
Yeah.
Where somebody will be just, bringing bags in. He's, "Oh, can I help you?" And they're
Yeah.
like, he walked up to a guy and stood behind a guy at a urinal, I think.
Yeah, and he'll
the
say-
guy turned around and goes, "Nobody will ever believe you."
Yeah.
And he just walks away.
That's not painfully normal.
No,
That's,
but he just the thing is, like, he will show up and go to a party, and I think it's more for the sake of just infusing himself. It's like, I know I'm a celebrity. I just want to go hang out and have beers like a regular guy.
I think he's beautifully untethered by all social mores and standards of society that allows him to operate in just reckless abandon and cavalier ways. I think that he's just, I'm going to walk in there. You can't do that. Why? What's going to happen to me?
I find that,
He's like the
but see,
Buddha.
I find that to
Kind
be,
of.
yeah. But see, the thing is, I find that to be more normal and a better normal than most people live at. Because I think that's somebody who's living in the present as much as you possibly can. Whereas Chevy Chase, I've heard stories where it just, like you said, and I don't know the man, I've
don't
never met
either,
him,
yeah.
but I've met a bunch of people who have, and I've never heard one person have a fun, nice story
Great
about
Chevy
him.
Chase story. you don't hear
You
that.
never hear that.
I guess it would seem as though Bill Murray is not at odds with who he is currently existing
Wonderfully
as, right?
stated.
there you go.
Wonderfully
Like,
stated.
yeah.
So
Not at all. He's
not necessarily-
Way to go,
normal.
Andy Richter.
That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here.
That's why you're here.
That's why I'm here.
I'm just here to shout.
I feel like
things.
you are lovingly steering us in a direction that you're, and then
the three of us are
I have one thing I
Go.
produced. If you guys want to do it now, we can save it till the end.
Is this the game?
I should save it for the
You
end.
said no. You do it at the end. Do it at the end. We got.
I made a game
this
for
is
you guys,
Oh,
which is fun.
Nice
like it.
teaser.
Yeah, but I mean,
You know you have to pay us for that. Right? If we do a game, you have to pay it.
no, it's not a video game. It's
Oh,
just a
no, never
game.
mind.
Like it's like a favor, you know.
We sometimes will do
I pay
little
you in a-
gimmicky things
It's
at the
like
end of
a
the
favor.
podcast.
Our agents are going to get calls. So we got some favors
So
people have asked to do.
we have wonderful favors.
Activision just called. They'd like a favor.
They like a favor. So Bill Murray.
Do you guys take exposure in terms of payment? Is that okay?
Yes.
You're gonna get so many
We're
likes.
kidding.
Exposure.
I was gonna actually ask for you guys. Do you guys ever get recognized in public? Is that a
Yeah.
Is that a thing? Yeah.
I got it yesterday in Springfield, Missouri. I was at the airport, and this
You
kid.
owe me money.
Funny, this kid. No, it was funny. This little kid came in. I know, and he didn't know who I was. No, this kid was sitting there with my family. We were flying
Dad?
back to LA, and this kid just recognized me and his dad. He said, "Dad, he's in all these games, my game." And the father's just kind of looks at me and said, "No, the other reason he's always playing these games." And I just wanted to go, "Yeah, you should parent."
Yeah.
Just say, and I told him, I said, "Hey, just tell him to stop. He'll listen to your dad."
And he like leaned in for a kiss. It was like American Beauty was
That
weird.
got really weird.
There's nothing wrong with your son.
There was an awkward, weird thing. His kid was taking pictures. His dad just crying and kissing me, and I'm like, "This is so
I
odd."
didn't move.
My wife
Do you want a
starts to
picture?
take her clothes off.
No.
Classic Missouri.
His son just
No.
starts crying, and,
Oh, Ozark just nails it, don't they?
and all of a sudden,
It's a beautiful town.
by the way, that's all I could think about when I was
I was
down
like, like
you
it's
should watch the show.
I've always been. I think it comes from my love of The Simpsons, where I just
Okay.
like voice actors to me are like it's the coolest job in the world. That's what I always
Yeah.
say. Like
Yeah.
I'd see an actor and be like, that's fine. Or sometimes an actor is just being paid to be themselves. Like they're just
Yeah, like H. John Benjamin. I believe he is just that guy.
yeah.
And then they go, well, we can make you look like Sterling Archer, or we can make you look like Bob's Burgers.
Like,
Yeah,
what is-
yeah.
But do the voice.
We want your voice.
But just
Yeah.
the voice, it's just him.
Oh, Patrick Warburton's like that too.
Oh yeah.
He's always
It's-
like, "Yeah, I just do this voice. You guys do all those other ones. I just do this one."
You should just do it.
Like works out pretty good for you.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's working out pretty good.
But since you guys
Do it.
you guys do
Do it, Troy.
so many roles.
I was gonna
It
say,
blows my
have you
mind.
ever felt that way about like your own careers, voice acting careers?
What do you mean?
My voice
That
acting
like
career?
people just want you for your voice, but you'd rather do something out of the box or whatever?
I
Because you guys have pretty diverse.
One job for me. Okay.
no. Go.
Early in my career, I remember because Assassin's Creed came out when I did Desmond and Uncharted. There was a couple of Shadow Complex and a bunch of these Dark Void, and all these came out. And everybody said, "This guy sucks. He only sounds like one guy," but that's what they wanted. And the only one that I ever tried to get them to change was Prince of Persia.
Oh yeah.
They wanted just my voice.
Like,
And I said, I'm looking at the animation, and my voice sounds like it's from Iowa.
I
Yeah,
saw
yeah.
And
Prince
this
of
is
Persia.
This shit, you know, even and the funny thing is, I ended up covering
Persia,
Jake
Illinois.
Gyllenhaal for some of the ads for Prince of Persia the movie and the British voice he was doing, and it just. But the animation, that game is beautiful.
Yeah.
And it just didn't. You know, carpet's this thick, Elika. It just didn't.
Do you?
By the way,
needed some
another
kind of thing.
wildly successful film adaptation of a video
Yes.
game. Just
I can't wait for the sequel.
Wildly successful.
Wildly
How about you?
successful. Are there other ones that I wish that I could have done more?
You know, just in terms of talking about like, you know, people that are just cast for their voice. Have you ever felt that you are just cast for your like? I guess it's downplaying your own abilities.
Like
right?
do you come in and go like this actor will be like this and they go just do the voice. Just that's fine, kid. Just do the Troy Baker voice.
I think if someone approaches it that way, is like, we really just want you, that makes me feel way better than the reverse, which is we want you to dress it up, right? If someone goes, honestly, we really just want you, that's typically someone who trusts their writing or trusts their characters, and we're starting from a better place, as opposed to, I really want to feel like there's this affectation. He's really, really angry, and he's got the. What if we did an accent? I'm like, all right, we're just putting a hat on a hat right now. Maybe there's a little bit, we need to rewind the clock and go through your script a little bit more. The thing that I do love more, it's a challenge, walking into a booth, and this is the only space in which you are able to play, right? Is way more challenging to me than if we're on a mocap stage and like this is literally the set, right? And the only thing that's different is that we're not wearing 3 graphic t-shirts and Henley, but mocap suits. And we were just doing this and able to use everything that's at our disposal, how we gesticulate with our hands and how we, look at each other with our eyes.
You mean act?
Do you guys prefer mocap over the VO booth?
Yeah, for sure.
I think for the most part, I would.
I do.
It's
I like being with other
acting's acting
people.
though.
Yeah.
Mark Hamill's the one who's always talking about it. People said, "Do you like?" People actually, I talked to him about it, and he said, "Don't you hate when people say, do you like acting or voice acting or real acting?" It's like it's all the same. But I think he's right that when you're here and you're alone.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes if in a like when we did Young Justice, there'll be a number of us in the room, so we can actually react off each other.
It's more like radio play, like The Simpsons too.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think, like you said, acting is acting. People are like, do you ever thought about doing real acting? I'm like, this fake stuff's working out pretty well for me. But we've done it too. It's like, it's tons of TV, film. Yeah. I've done TV and film. And the reality is that games were just kinder to me. Games were just gave me an opportunity that TV and film won't. I'll piggyback onto your story. I walk into an audition, and they're casting for this new HBO show, and I sit down, and it's about vampires. And so I go, oh, cool. You're yes. I was like, you're Alan Ball. Yeah. And better. Good, better. Best? It was like, you're Alan Ball. And so I had read the pilot of the script for True Blood was incredible. It was really, really good. And I'm sitting across with Alan, and I was like, I said, this is a great script. He goes, I didn't write it. And I went, it's still a good script. And he goes, fair point, have a seat. And we sit down and we go through the scene, and I'm reading with someone else, and Alan's literally right there. And he's looking at me as I'm reading, he's just shaking his head. And we get through the scene, and they're like, Alan? He was like, yeah, great choices. Have a little accent there, Cajun accent, I love it. I'm gonna tell you something I haven't told anybody else. You did it. It's all you. You're the bad guy. Let me see what you do with that. It's like, okay. Going to the scene again, and he's shaking his head. We get done, and I was like, are we good? And he goes, great, it's awesome. And I was like, do you mind telling me why you're shaking your head? And he's like, everything you're doing, your choices are great, it's very small, everything. I was like, well, you shaking your head's a little bit of a mind fuck. What is it? And he goes, you look so vampiric. I was like, great, it's a show about vampires. He goes, not this guy. Can't use you. And I was like, thank you for that honesty.
Yeah.
But what I did was great, but there was just something aesthetic, and at that time, in his defense, I looked very vampiric. They couldn't hire me.
Yeah.
Games, that's not the gig.
Yeah.
I don't look like Joel, and they don't care. They're like, what do you quintessentially bring to this character in this role? And they give us the chance to do
But
that.
that's the great thing. Games or any kind of animation, any kind of, anytime you're just using your voice, it's one of my favorite things about it that, aside from the time element, on-camera stuff takes forever. And I love it. I love doing on-camera stuff as well. But, I as you get older and you've done some of the just...
8-hour days are great.
Yeah, well, yeah. Or else it's a 15-hour day, and you're somebody's dad who's the camera stays on them, and you're just pushing the plot along. It just becomes sort of the roles that I've gotten in voiceover. I'm limited, right? I'm limited by what I look like, my height, my weight, my color, everything, and it's in voiceover you're anything, or anybody or anything. I was a Viking beaver in a Nickelodeon cartoon. I mean,
Banner Day.
I mean, Unsky, the Viking beaver. I mean, it was great, and you just get to have so much more fun and so much more freedom. And I think, at the end of the day, like Shakespeare didn't call them actors; they were players, and you get to play. And I think that's I've in the voiceover world, there's so much more play until you get a great role, like on a Breaking Bad or a True Blood, where it's like, wow, I'm just
But even
fully in on this.
those are so rare.
Super rare.
And most people that come, because we're seeing this huge, migration from TV and film into video game space, right? And they come in and like working with Norman Reedus. That guy has a work ethic second to none. He works, he's the first on set and the last to leave, and he's constantly working. If he's not doing Walking Dead, or he wasn't doing Death Stranding, he was doing a show Ride, or he was doing a movie. He just constantly works. And you see him come in, they're like, what is this? I'm in looks like a Stanley Kubrick, living room with, there's all these little cameras everywhere, and then I'm wearing this weird suit, and you're in a weird suit. Where's camera supposed to be? And I'm used to playing like, this is my single, and I know how to play it on my close-up. And none of that applies, and he just judo rolled with it, and he was great. Other people have come in and not so much. They haven't been able to adapt to that kind of process because they're so used to, I know how to give you the eyes. We're like, none of that's gonna play, man. I need you to be able to bring something different.
Yeah, an animator will do your eyes. Like,
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they'll figure it out.
So while we've seen that kind of migration over into it, it's been the fun part of that. The flip side of that is when you sit down next to Norman Reedus or Ashley Johnson, who'd grown up doing TV or film, and we spend 3 hours on one scene. Not because we need to reshoot and relight and move cameras and do touch-ups on makeups or anything. It's just, we just want to feel what happens if we really explore and break out this scene and be able to workshop. And that was one of 5 scenes that we did. You could just move so quickly. We could do 8 to 10 pages in a day.
Yeah.
And that's just something you can't do in TV and film.
Well, it's funny. I was just thinking. I was like, the times where I saw both you guys break out in really interesting ways. Actually, 2 of the same games: Last of Us and the Batman series, Arkham. You as Penguin, and then you as Joker, which blew my mind. And then in Last of Us, when someone told me the character that you play, I guess I don't want to spoil it for those who haven't played it yet, but the character
Who
pops up.
hasn't played it?
Somebody, I don't
There's
know.
one guy going, The Rock has moved.
What year is it?
His name is David. There it is. David.
For the character David, when he shows up, and then afterwards we were like, oh, by the way, that was Nolan North. I was like, what the? Oh, cool. Like, it sounded like Naughty Dog at least lets you just have fun with it.
Yeah, that was Neil. Neil Druckmann came to
I'm not gonna
me
say anything.
while we were shooting Uncharted, and he said, I want to show you something. And we were at Naughty Dog, and he brought me in, and he showed me the whole character profile and told me all about it. And I was just like, yep, all in, all of it.
So what's that process? Do you go like, I'm going to try this voice, or he's like, I want you to like, do you just like meet in the middle somewhere? Like, how do you come up with a character like that?
How did you do that with David? What was your process like, Nolan?
You know what? I wanted it just to be like, after seeing everything that seeing the story and what Neil wants to build, I said, well, I always learned early, like one of my favorite things to do is always called draw to the opposite. So, the big scary guy who screams, he's not as scary as that quiet guy, just smiles and just just walks away. Like, why is that guy smiling? What does he know? I don't know. So with David, I just thought he's somebody he's a shepherd. He's got these people that he's got to take care of. He's the mayor of his flock, whatever. And I just want him to sound really kind and calm. Someone thinks things through, and only when he's pushed to a certain level, and because of his actions, right? Ellie gets out, and everything goes to hell in a handbasket, and now he's enraged. He's lost everything. And I think that there was something very interesting about just making him super, really kind, and just kind of bringing that.
Conversations that I've had and I've seen people have specifically about that character, where David never lies.
Yeah.
To Ellie. He always tells her the truth, and he was always hospitable towards her.
He protects her.
And he protects her. So it's like, there's no bad guy in The Last of Us. The only bad guy is the world. But there's no like, you're the villain. There's no villains, nor are there heroes. And that's one thing that game specifically truly excelled at doing that I've never seen a game do before, which was like, we're all heroes and we're all villains. It just depends on the story. But
Yeah,
it depends
and he's
on
not a
perspective.
villain. We've talked about this at
Not a
length. I mean,
villain.
he's not a villain, and anytime you are approached with a character of that type, you have to defend him. You know, if you're playing an asshole doesn't think he's an asshole. Everybody else does.
Well, I'm just being honest.
Yeah, it's being. It doesn't matter. I'm being honest or I'm lying. Doesn't matter. I'm smarter than you. Whatever mode you want to take. And with David, I can justify everything he ever did. Now you take that same guy and you walk him down the street, normal society. Yeah, he's got a screw loose. But in those circumstances, in that world, he's doing his best to survive and keep his people alive. And as an actor, I think that's what I did. If that's a process, it was just justify your own actions.
Harryhausen had a great quote where he said, "The most terrifying monster you can imagine is one you can imagine in repose." And I think like, if you can imagine that beast asleep, that actually makes it more terrifying because it's the dichotomy of it. It's the opposite of the snarling teeth and the fangs and the roar. It's the quiet.
Spiders.
Spiders are terrifying.
Spiders in repose. Stay away from them.
I'm just respectful
Joel
of the
Schumacher's
spiders.
house. The lights are always off.
But apparently there's a dick going around in the
Something's
dark.
happening.
Just like, hey, 10,001.
Just when he was concepting Batman Forever, when he's like more neon, was he having sex at that time?
Yes,
Absolutely.
had to have been.
That's the only thing that can explain that.
Speaking of Joel Schumacher, this podcast is brought to you by Fleur. We'll hear about them right now. So smelling good is just as important as looking and feeling good. In fact, I would actually argue it's the most important. Smell has been called one of the 5 major senses by smart men in lab coats. And if a scientist is going to say something like that, you better believe most of what they have to say. And that's why we're talking about Fleur. We're sponsored today by Fleur, who's a wonderful sponsor, who is one of my favorite scents that I personally use called Greylock, which I've received many positive compliments on, most namely from my wife. So she likes it when I smell good. She's probably my biggest critic, but we don't have to talk about that. So Fleur makes great smelling, non-toxic perfumes. Unlike other fragrance companies, they're transparent and they tell you every ingredient that is in their perfumes and actually why they're there. So you get a good scent made by clean ingredients, and the sample process is just plain fun. It's really easy. So be sure to go to fleur.com/dudesoup today to check out our curated selection from Funhaus. We made our own. And you'll get 20% off your first custom Fleur sample set. That is fleur.com/dudesoup to get your first 3 Fleur fragrance samples at 20% off. That is PHLUR.com/dudesoup. Thank you, Fleur. You're awesome.
Do you want to have sex with 50,000
Shocker.
people?
Yeah, that's the thing too. There's no I don't know.
It might not be individuals. It
Could
could
be
be
mannequins?
3 people.
Is sex with a sex doll sex?
And just fucked
Just
50,000
going
people?
for it. though.
50,000.
I think
Who's
it was
got
50,000.
What are you sitting there with like a...
yeah.
Yeah.
God, my-
Next. At some point. it
Amusement
becomes-
park's full.
You just...
Joel Schumacher, serving the homeless since 1982.
I thought
What's
of
your name?
thought
Come
a-
here, get out of the box, Smelly.
I thought a fun idea would be to. I always wonder what the cleaning etiquette was for your fleshlight. So like if you're just out in the driveway with a robe on, you're just hosing it out and waving at the
Morning, Bill.
Dishwasher.
Is it supposed to be in the dishwasher? I don't want that.
Or-
gross
If I
stuff.
do that in the dishwasher.
Where's the coffee cups? And the... Wait!
It's
Oh my
clean.
God.
I thought you had pressure washer.
Oh man.
Oh, like, that's it.
Amazon.
Throw it back.
It's the same day. They have same day shipping on the flashlight, right? Do you order?
You can buy whatever you want.
Is this is what we've gone through?
Wait,
But I mean, but seriously, like, would you order sex aids or toys or marital aids, whatever they call them, via Amazon?
I mean,
seems dangerous just because like even if you like think maybe I need batteries and you just look at batteries on Amazon, it's all you get
Oh yeah, for
for
sure.
like the next 6 months.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I didn't even buy any. So I would be more concerned. It wouldn't be an embarrassment.
Is it a
would be-
marital aid if you're single?
How about this? I submit this question to you. Have you ever gone into a what's the store here that they have? Can't remember.
Like an Adam and Eve type
Sure,
thing?
sure.
Yeah.
With your partner.
No.
We did once for a larf.
I don't.
Okay.
Yeah,
So-
I did once for a
Yeah.
laugh. And I saw the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Okay.
And
Go.
it was like I didn't touch it, but I'm
moved.
it was the lower part of a leg, and it was like a calf.
Was it like the lamp
It was a
from-
calf
from
and then a
Christmas Story?
foot. No, it's like a calf and a foot upside down, and it was
Okay.
like for your someone's
fetish.
pleasure.
For like a foot job.
I don't think a foot job. I
Wait.
think this was inserted in things.
It's like
Oh.
a dildo.
But like
foot
it was,
like a
it was,
foot.
it had to be 2 feet tall. I was up there and I just started laughing. I'm like,
can I help you? I have questions.
so many questions. Yeah, my wife and I saw it,
it's
but I was a
USB
goop who
powered.
walked in and saw it.
Wait,
It's
what?
Bluetooth enabled. Like, what does that mean?
It
GPS
is-
tracker.
I've never went in and bought anything though. I just kind of because you
Did you
go
go
in there
in
and
with
you go,
Jill, or did you go
"Ah."
with you, or did you go
Jill.
with? Okay.
We went in
Yeah.
we saw a place that we were like
browse.
just for a goof, check it out. Walked
browse.
in and we're like, we didn't really. It was just really for a laugh.
I
Because
instantly.
both of us were like, yeah, I don't really want anything in here. It smelled funny.
Oh no! Like
It smelled weird.
I feel like
Yes.
I feel like a kid, and the most mature people in the world are the ones that work there.
Oh,
They're
yeah,
like,
yeah.
What's the big deal, man? What
Dude,
are-
I've heard it all, right? They've heard
Exactly.
every joke.
What do you- Not only that, but it's this demystification. It's like those cool parents that's like, yeah, we have a liquor cabinet. Our kids don't drink. We're just really good parents. You're like, yeah, that's a dildo, and that's you're gonna go off and are you gonna fuck here? I mean, are you just gonna what are you doing? Pam and I went to one in Paris. It was like, where else would we? This is the perfect opportunity to. And at first, it was just you find. First of all, you find out so much about your person when you do stuff like that because they're either I don't know, because you don't have any really opportunity to have those kind of conversations outside that situation. So you don't just randomly bring that up. It's like
What
hey,
you need? You need the left foot.
you know what I mean? It's like, are they like, oh my God? Or are they like, oh my God? That's what you would never know that about Jill if you were not in that situation. 100%.
You can
I'd say.
avoid awkward conversation based off
It was
the reaction of going like
So no, not
look at
with
this
the foot.
right?
What are you
right? Like who would use a foot, right?
Wouldn't this be terrible?
my
I mean, can you imagine this in my ass?
But, like, what if
Can
we
you?
did?
Can you imagine this in my ass?
But like,
Jeez.
maybe we just buy it as a joke.
Oh, that'd be so
Yeah,
funny.
come
Just as a
on.
goof. Let's just like
so
and
funny.
I like go first.
Honey, it's a knee. I got it up to the knee. Help. Call the paramedics.
I got it up to the knee.
It doesn't have a knee. Oh no.
It's gone.
It's
Oh, no.
It's gone.
Does it have a string? How do
I
we-
would get two and just put like my shoes on it. Just keep.
What a good day,
It's a
Mr.
good
Rogers.
day,
Coming.
yeah.
Hello, neighbor.
The one in Japan, we went to the one in as Akihabara. We're on vacation.
Akihabara always has
and
cool
it's
stuff like that.
5 levels of sex toys, and they have one floor is just butt plugs, and it was just
a floor?
Just the bottom floor.
Oh, you have to marvel at
basement?
that. Third floor. You got to trust me. You have to work up to that. You don't
guess
just
so.
automatically go for the butt plug.
one of the other floors was just body pillows. Like it was every Japanese stereotype you can think of, other than the soiled panties. But
That's in a vending machine on the first floor.
didn't find them.
I never
couldn't-
found those
couldn't-
either.
I found a hot coffee. That was cool. They sell it inside of like a little Family Mart. They
What's
have
a hot coffee?
Like a coffee that's warm.
Oh,
They keep it in
I
a,
thought that
a
was
heated area.
sexual.
I thought it was a sexual.
yeah.
What's a
Yeah,
hot
I was
coffee? What's a hot coffee?
I know the GTA reference, but what is?
I think
No,
the
you mean
sexual-
like a literal hot coffee.
a hot coffee sexual move would be like a hot Carl, but when you have the runs.
Okay, that's
say,
our
Hot
check.
wouldn't hot
check,
coffee be
please.
when
Let's
you
just say
take
this is
someone
one of
on
my
a date
dreams
and you
come
bring
true. I
them
just love
home
talking to you
and then
This
you
is what I
hump,
mean.
you perform like 4 or 5 different sexual positions, but you keep your clothes on the whole time. That's what a hot coffee would be, because that's what happened in GTA. Everyone flipped out.
Oh yeah, because
So you're like, there's a sex
What's your
scene
what's,
in the
your- what's
game.
your favorite like of those ridiculous things?
I
What's your
can't.
favorite? I know one.
Alaskan Pipeline is great. We did a show.
What is the
anime
Alaskan
show.
pipeline?
Alaskan Pipeline is. Come on, man. No, man.
look it up.
You can look it up, and then we can just. You can
The
Google
funniest
it at home,
one,
kids,
listen,
if you want
by the way,
to.
this is all for shits and giggles, mostly giggles. My funniest one, I couldn't breathe, was a blumpkin.
a blumpkin?
That is when you receive oral sex while taking a dump on a toilet.
When I
And,
So
and then
makes
there's the
sense.
NASCAR Porto Blumpkin where you're doing it in the center field of a NASCAR race in a porta potty.
There's not a single fiber in my being that doubts that has actually happened. Like, I believe.
I just can't imagine why.
Honey, I need this.
My
I
favorite
need
is
this.
the alabaster jackrabbit.
Go.
Oh my
Made it up. I
God!
don't know what it is.
We did a show.
God damn it! You make something else up.
There was an anime.
Hold on.
There was an anime
figure it
show that we did that there was a wrestling match, and so there were two commentators that were, and it would never pass standards of practice. They would never you couldn't say those things, but they put them in as wrestling moves.
Oh, okay.
So he's like, he's going for the block. It's a double Blumpkin straight into an Alaskan pipeline and with a finisher of a Screaming Eagle. And we got them through all of them. And if you actually look those up, you'll see how dark the internet can go.
Yeah.
How dark the internet
Do you
can
know what
go.
Alaskan pipeline is?
No, not
Go for it, Adam
offhand.
Kovic, please.
Noun, the act of pooping into a condom, freezing the rubber overnight, then inserting it into one's anus.
That's an Alaskan pipeline.
There's so much creativity.
I like that
Why
it
would
says
anybody
one's
even
anus.
think of that? Like,
Human beings.
I have a condom. What am I going to do? It? Wait a minute.
Yeah.
I had steak for the last 3 nights. Things are impacted. Man, really?
Wait. What is that? Don't worry about it. Let me see your butt.
My brain goes to
Let
the
me
scene.
see your butt. Here it is.
My brain goes to the scene from Broken Arrow where they go,
There's a
I don't know what's worse, that this is happening or that there's a
term
name for it.
Oh yeah. Down.
We'll remember.
yes. Oh, Christian Slater at his.
You guys know a fun
was a
fact
post-cuffs
about
world.
Broken Arrow?
That is.
That's
great.
Scream 2. Do you know this about Scream 2?
Go.
What's that?
Oh, yeah. go ahead.
So Dewey, the David
Yeah.
Arquette's character, his theme in Scream 2 is the Broken Arrow theme. Straight up. Like they just used it.
No.
Because it was part of the temp track and they tested it with audiences and it tested so well, but it's because Broken Arrow had like just come out that they were like, let's leave it in. So Hans
Wow.
Zimmer has like credit on Scream 2 for
Because-
Dewey's theme. And if you watch it, it's all you'll ever think. Like every single time he walks in, it's like, oh, Gail Weathers. And he's like, hey, Gail. And he goes, bam, 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 bam.
I'm watching that tonight.
It's
Dude,
amazing.
No one's ever said
Oh
that.
man, the night it is John Travolta. Which, by the way, talk about a man that just like embraced. He was like, yeah, I'm bald and I've got a beard.
Yeah.
Wait, that's not in Broken Arrow, right?
No, but like
No.
you see him now.
Oh,
The Fred Durst movie.
yeah.
You're talking about the Fred Durst movie?
There's a Fred Durst
Yeah.
movie.
John
Is it a movie
Travolta is
Fred Durst?
is I think currently filming a movie directed by Fred Durst
Yeah, and
where
it's
he looks terrible.
Apparently, he's playing special needs of some kind,
Something like that.
and poorly.
Is it going to be his Philadelphia or something?
doesn't-
It's not.
It's not a great
It's
no.
not going to be his.
No,
Philadelphia.
like
It's-
special
it's-
needs. Like this is going to be
Yes,
his
yeah.
like Tropic Thunder. Like
Did anyone see Gotti? Did you guys see Gotti?
I read about it. I heard it was just
Like the worst?
It said it's absolutely atrocious.
I saw
There's
him.
an image of it.
So yeah, that's how he looks in this Fred Durst movie.
yeah.
There it is.
Oh, there it is. Thank you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Same image. Yeah.
No.
yeah.
I grew up watching
No.
Grease, so this hurts me a lot.
I grew up watching Broken Arrows.
I grew up watching.
I don't care.
I saw Broken Arrow on a plane.
Why is
Weird, right?
Why is he doing an indie thriller directed by Fred Durst?
Got to pay for that plane.
Is Fred Durst? He's paid for it.
I think
Is
Fred Durst-
in.
He's directed.
No. I'm just saying. Is he like in the? Are they going to the same clubhouse?
Oh,
Oh.
like, are you talking about?
Possibly.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's gotten handsy on a lot of sets with
Who, John
with
Travolta?
Cameron. Yeah, I know some people. Just like
Is one of them at the table?
he gets like he gets a little
Well, we can
overly-
see it right here. Look,
overly.
He can't
Yeah,
even
that's
keep his
not
hands
that's
off
not
this
that's
young
not a
man.
movie screenshot. That's,
we haven't called action yet.
yeah, no, he's getting my trailer.
Who is that? I mean, my God.
Yeah, it's not good.
Oh well,
I cannot wait to see the trailer for that movie. My God.
he'll have his 4th or 5th Renaissance or whatever.
We're
John
still waiting
Travolta
on that.
does.
Yeah.
He'll come back around.
I don't know. I thought it was Hairspray, but that's just me.
No, like late '90s, like
I think he's lost
Broken
his
Arrow.
mind.
That whole boxing scene, That's
I mean, it was that.
pays him
in-
$20, right? For
It was that in Face Off. I think was his like back-to-back.
Face Off with
villain.
Nicolas
I guess he was a
Cage.
villain in
take
Pulp
his
Fiction.
face.
Yeah.
Oh, Peach.
You're gonna do Peach for
Castor Troy, though, what a great name.
Yes.
Again, for a villain, his brother.
Castor Troy.
Brother, I wonder.
Remember when he dies and he ties his shoelaces again? God, great movie.
So great.
Great movie. I love Face
John
Off so
Woo,
much.
dude. It's like, I'm going to need a lot of doves. How many? Like too many doves.
buy 'em
For
more doves.
what? There's one scene in the.
Here he goes, if I bought you flowers, no.
If I let you,
suck my tongue,
if I let you,
would you be grateful?
suck on my tongue?
She was a
Would you
special
be
agent.
grateful?
Spoiler.
She was a special agent, and she goes ragdoll
Yeah.
so bad out of the plane.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Everybody. Oh,
Great
it's
movie.
So if you don't know what we're
Ragdoll.
talking about,
You should watch Face Off.
you should absolutely watch Face
Yeah.
Off. If for no other reason than to just see what no chemistry looks like between John Travolta and his who plays his wife. She looks like his
yeah.
mom, and he's
Yeah.
clearly older. But she was also in what's her name?
I remember the actor.
Drew?
I know Gina Gershon was the other. Was
Was John
was
Nick Cage's?
Yeah.
one.
But what is her name?
Don't remember.
She was also in what was a movie where they go black and white into color, Pleasantville.
Oh,
She's a wonderful actor.
yeah.
But
Dominic Swain,
no.
Joan Allen.
Joan Allen.
Allen.
There it
There it is.
is.
Sorry.
Yeah, that woman is not named Dominic Swain. Come on, man.
I'm just. I read
Dominique Swain.
whoever had the last
Joan-
name Archer. I just
Yeah,
read it.
Joan Allen. That was his daughter.
That's right.
Which
Okay.
there was that
Oh, she-
weird moment where
The one from Pleasantville.
it's obviously Nick Cage as John Travolta, but he's like
Touching people's faces.
his daughter. Like
Yeah.
it's even as Nick Cage are like, we could probably
Yeah.
cut that scene out. That's just
My
not
favorite
good.
part of that whole perfect movie is at the end when he goes, you know what? Get rid of the scar. I don't care about my dead son anymore.
Yeah, right.
He's like, yeah, don't put the scar back. It's fine. I'm like,
my
I mean,
impetus,
it's
my
fine.
raison d'etre, and just
Yeah.
the whole this we have to do
Touch
this
his face.
for no one. You would never do that to your son. Hey, you
John
want
Woo's
It's a
a
weird
genius.
family. It's a weird family.
Is he?
More importantly, to that point,
Is he?
I still have a game I want to play with you guys.
Okay.
Yep.
But I need to bring up my biggest point about Face Off real quick. So they switch bodies.
Yeah.
One becomes fat and then one became skinny.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the very end, he goes back. He
He's like, I wanna
leaves.
be fat again.
Yeah, he leaves Nick Cage body and goes,
Yeah.
put my regular face back, but put the fat back in.
Yeah. yeah. And get rid of the scar.
yeah, get rid of the scar.
Yeah.
So they had a tub of John Travolta fat, and he just
They
Do you
had
want
it.
us to? Because
Yeah.
we can put it.
no, save it. Sorry, that's Christopher Walken.
We can put it in.
I want to give my fat body back.
Fat bodies are better than skinny bodies.
Wow.
It's fat.
It's like fat.
it's-
Nick Cage is here with us.
It's like
Oh, wait.
E7. Wow.
Hi,
yes.
I'm Nick Cage.
This is
Don't call the IRS.
This is a really this is
Special.
kind of a lame story, but I
Yeah.
want to tell it, and I feel like you guys might appreciate it.
Man couldn't walk.
We a little while ago, just through happenstance, managed to have a sit down with Maurice LaMarche,
Yes.
Did he do
the legend,
the legend indeed?
and me being the asshole that I am, he's constantly performing. Like just in conversation, he finds a moment to slide in anything that he can, and it always sounds impeccable. And every single time he did it, I would go like "wow" and then say the wrong person. Like every single one, I would get wrong.
Yeah,
and
as
I
a
think
joke.
he hates me now.
Yeah.
He
but-
absolutely
Probably.
It was
he does.
God, it was real satisfying.
He there was a moment that we had with Mo we're in Vancouver, I think, right? When we do like the convention circuits, these are people like Maurice LaMarche,
Heroes.
or I mean heroes. Those are guys like watching Animaniacs growing up is we have those moments too, right?
Rob Paulson.
Rob Paulson.
Yeah.
And so we're sitting there in Vancouver having dinner, and Mo was like the preeminent. He was the heir apparent comedian impressionist. And there was a special. Tell a story.
Oh, right. So we went to this restaurant, after each day after the con, and one time Mose like said, "Oh, you gotta, yeah, no, I did these ads on TV reads," and he said, "Oh, you gotta check it out." He looked on the phone. He said, "Oh, there's others. Look it up later." And I think we're just getting something quick to eat, and we were all going to meet downstairs for dinner. So I went upstairs and I was changing, and I looked up that ad and I watched it, and then YouTube will show the other things. All of a sudden, I see Maurice LaMarche, Rodney Dangerfield Young Comedian special, and I go, "What the?" And he's opening act on there with Bob Saget, Seinfeld, a guy named Bob Nelson, Andrew Dice Clay, the Bills. He's the leadoff. But here's the thing: I think I was in maybe freshman year in high school, 9th grade. I walked down to dinner, and I looked at him, and he goes, "What?" And I went into his act, because in 9th grade, I memorized that act. Wow. I could do, "Phineas J. Whoopi, you're the greatest. Come along, Chumley. G. Tennessee." And I mean, I saw that, and that's how I got laughs with people in school, because I saw him doing those things. And of all those comedians that were on there, I remember taping that Young Comedian special, watching it. I had no idea that the guy now, I've worked with Mo for a number of years. Yeah. I've known him for years. And I never, ever realized, oh my God, that's the guy from that special. I could do, and he looked at me, and he was pretty touched, because I said, "You were my guy." And honestly, if I think about it, that I never thought I could do this, or this was even a job, but that thing like got me through some tough years, because high school, and the only thing I could really do at the time was throw a baseball or be funny, and it was like, and that was it, and it was. But I loved that special, and I could go down there, and he started doing it back. He said, "I don't believe this," and I could go into the next, and he literally did. The best Shatner. Still, his Shatner is just this. His Shatner, he just goes. Doesn't even have to say anything. But he did Reverend Jim. He did like Captain Kirk. Because he was in Wrath of Khan, I guess it was. You're
talking about
he was doing Reverend Jim, doing
wow, from Taxi.
From Taxi.
But you're talking about
Christopher Lloyd.
Christopher Lloyd.
I was going Lloyd Bridges. No, stroke. Help me.
Pass.
Things you do at the beach.
Christopher Lloyd.
Hurricanes have this.
Hot air.
We came up with a great bit. Who was it? Two people.
Which one?
It was.
We come up with so many good bits.
Jeff Goldblum and Christopher Walken doing $25,000 pyramid.
Oh my God!
This is
Cantaloupe. Mark Spitz.
No.
No. It's like no. But remember we said no. It's like right. No. It's like so. Just be this. Artichokes.
Ding.
Glenn Campbell. Gling.
And just Dick Clark comes over and is like, you have more money than you ever.
You made more than $25,000 on this pyramid.
Can we go to just color bars? Wonderful round of pyramid. Pyramids are shaped at four sides. The Egyptians may or may not have built them.
Yemen. That's right. The country is Yemen.
Yemen.
So that's a fun bit you guys just came up with. We haven't done anything with it.
This is what happens. So
It's going to happen.
You guys should start a channel or
do
something.
something with these talents.
Where we shoot, it's either the most riveting conversation or it's a car ride of silence. Because it's like no one will come pick me up or come to my house.
Riveting
I'm on the way.
stupidity would be the better way.
Like we shoot down like an hour and a half away from our houses. So we'll get up and it's like 7 o'clock in the morning and it's just Barney and Fred going to work the other day. Good morning. It's actually like the sheepdog and the wolf. They go, morning Fred, morning Harry. Clocking in. And I'll go, oh my God, like this week. He's like, just shut up. We'll save it for the show. Save it for the show. Mm-hmm. And we'll drive down and we can't wait to get on the couch because then it's like, now we can talk about like, what's actually going on in our lives.
And I think that's the next thing that we're actually going to.
We just need to do this.
Our next step is just a basic podcast.
There's some people that actually tune in to watch us play a game, and they're like, I mean,
They don't even play.
What happens at the end of Uncharted?
No one's not even trying.
We played, I think our record right now is 15 minutes before we even okay, press start.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. Real quick, so I have a quick game I want to play with you guys. But before that, I want to let you guys know that this podcast is brought to you by Squarespace. I just want to remind you guys that this episode of Dude Soup is brought to you by Squarespace, one of our favorite sponsors. From websites to online stores to marketing tools and analytics, Squarespace is an all-in-one platform to build a beautiful online presence to run your business. I would say it is more important than ever to have your presence known online, especially for someone like us or most people, independent contractors, what have you. To have your own website is like having your own resume. Instead of having to rewrite it every time, you just have it online, show everyone your work and all your projects. It's just very easy to do. It's one of the things we look at when we're hiring people here. So more important than ever. I can't stress that enough. Other thing I want to talk about is back in the day when I would make my own website or friends would try to help me make a website. It was one of the hardest things in the world to do, but things are not like that anymore thanks to Squarespace. It's pretty amazing what you can do with the tools that they offer you. You get your own personalized webpage, and they offer these insane tools that you can just work with. There's a collaborative option. You can actually be working with other people, or you can just do it all on your own. It's up to you. They have a wide array of plugins, templates, and all sorts of tools that make making a website basically pretty easy for like a doofus like me. It's so easy, and it works across all devices. It's all responsive. It's very modern. It's one of the best online services out there. So pretty much everyone from independent producers to big corporations use Squarespace, so you probably should too. So go ahead and check out squarespace.com for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/dudesoup to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Once again, that is squarespace.com/dudesoup. Thank you, Squarespace, and keep being awesome. Okay, so we'll do this real quick because we're running low on time. I know you guys got other things to do, works to meet up. I can't say
Bits
words right now.
bits
to mine.
bit.
I'm
That
just
fight?
hungry.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Food.
We promised you a
Eat your
sandwich.
face.
So,
Off.
like I said at the top of the show, you guys have both done so much work. So, I picked some random characters. I want to see if you guys remember which one played which.
God, who played who?
Yeah.
Oh,
I remember that.
I will say the name,
Okay.
and you guys let me know.
Okay.
If bonus points if you know from which
Okay.
media. It could be anything. It doesn't have to just
Do we
be
have a
video games.
buzzer? Or anything?
No, I'll just say the name and you let me know. Okay. So the first one, Sergeant Randall.
That's me. Call of Duty.
Okay.
100%.
Call of Duty. That's actually one of my favorites because you
We don't need
stormed
to-
Normandy Beach.
Went into biography.
It's
We
a
just
great
want a yes
game.
or no.
Sergeant Randall, that was me. So glad I got one.
Next one, Copperhead.
Me. Yeah, Copperhead. Well, if you want to go Copperhead, you're going to be pulling from Baki the Grappler.
That's right.
And they brought that show back, and somehow
Why would you ever bring something?
I ended up playing Baki. I thought Baki the Grappler was the worst show that had ever been made, and I thought it had been made as a joke.
The Netflix?
And then Netflix, I got a call from Jamie Simone, who was the director and producer on that. He was like, "Hey, so I got a role for you. If you're down to do it, it's anime." I was like, "Man, I want to do anime. I haven't done anime. I cut my teeth doing anime." It was like a show called Baki the Grappler. I was like, "Man, shut up," and hung up. And he was like, "I'm serious." And he was like, I was like, "Who do you want me to play in that?" I was like, "My character's gonna make." I was like, "No, he wants you to play main character." I was like, "You want me to play Baki the Grappler?" He goes, "Yeah." Watch it on Netflix.
I've watched
It's
both seasons.
It's crazy,
It's
right?
incredible.
We're in a game.
Oh, sorry.
I said no
Well,
biography.
Those
I said
are
no
the
biography.
softballs.
Yeah.
Those are these ones.
Did you watch the season 2 when Muhammad Ali shows up?
Oh, I
And you're
guess
like, what
they're
the
gonna-
fuck is going
So
on?
how have you been?
Muhammad Ali. And then
Good. Thanks for coming by.
sex
It's been-
scene.
Yeah.
This
Oh,
is
Go
good.
ahead, Adam
Oh,
Kovic,
sorry.
please.
Next one. This is a character named Seth Walker.
That's me. Seth Walker was in oh my god, Sega game. You play either human or cyborg.
First word is space.
Space
Siege.
Siege. Yeah, terrible game. Great premise.
Brother
terrible
of
game.
Captain Martin Walker from Spec Ops.
Negative.
Okay, go.
Next, captured pirate number 3.
Me. I asked. I wanted to be in it. and I had to be in it. Pirates of the Caribbean.
The Legend of Jack Sparrow.
Wow.
Pirate 3.
We just played it recently, so I was like, oh,
By the way, that was an
Small.
absolute guess out out of my butt.
Was it really?
Yeah, but
Legend of Captain Sparrow, Jack Sparrow
no.
was it Disney
but
Adventures game or something?
yeah, it was
I think it was
like
PlayStation.
yeah.
I think it was a PlayStation game, but I remember I think actually.
Who'd they
I told
get to
you
play
we played
Jack Sparrow?
Actually, it's amazing. Crispin
ahead.
Freeman actually does a spot on. Not Jack Sparrow. He does the other guy.
Orlando.
Johnny
He
Depp.
does Orlando Bloom.
Orlando Bloom.
Who did Johnny Depp? I don't know.
He's
Wasn't me.
got a new show out that does not look good at all.
Who?
Johnny
Orlando
Depp does a new show?
Bloom. He's going.
Yeah, with they're like
Oh,
butterflies or moths.
The Amazon show? Was that the
Moth
one?
people. It's weird.
Oh, Carnival Row.
Carnival Row.
He jumps and they, I'm like, weird.
We got a
Weird.
Johnny
Just-
Depp if you guys need.
Oh yeah, we know a guy.
Is
We
he-
got two more. Okay,
Hollywood Boulevard.
next role, male shopkeeper.
Me.
No way.
I am, and you're not gonna believe this.
Go.
Brats.
What?
It's Bratz Girls with a Z. Really rock.
I think we found out
TV
what
show.
Nolan's porn is, and it's just like the IMDb is in his browser history. He's like,
I got a great story about this.
I did that.
Director's Doug Carrigan.
Doug.
Doug Carrigan, great guy, huge hockey fan. We did that, and we did that session, and then he drove. We went to Staples Center to see the LA Kings play. I got in the car with him. He said, and we went. I said, I got to tell you. He goes, what? I said, that's the worst role I've ever done and the worst game I've ever done. He started laughing. That was, I can tell you lines from that because it was abhorrent for children. This is the one game you shouldn't have your kids play. It was like, hi girls, I got some cell phones here. Oh, you know who don't like cell phones? Old people. And you're like, and the whole game was like, fuck you, old people. And I'm like, hi, Carrie. Hi, kids. I see you're up. I want to sit there. Oh, look it up. You little painted up little whores. It's like, hi, we're all like 12 and we got glitter. And that's what we do. Oh my God, it's everything is wrong. It's like, oh God.
There's a South Park episode for that too, by the way.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
exactly.
It's for
And it was
rats.
just, it was at the,
Not spoiled horror play set.
yeah.
Season 13, episode 1, I believe.
He's crazy. I can't believe that. Yes, male shopkeeper. I sold cell phones. You know who don't like cell phones? Old people. I was like, this, and I remember
watch
looking
it
at him in
now.
the booth going, oh my God, is this for real? This is for children.
Punking me.
Yeah.
Was that at set down in Santa Monica?
Yes.
I'm gonna take
Yes.
Okay.
Please, Adam,
All
right
right.
here.
Final role.
Go
Who
ahead.
played Moon Knight?
I did. Oh, wait a minute. Did you also do it? I did it.
Why does that sound so familiar?
Marvel Pinball, I think it was.
Moon Knight was recently announced as an upcoming Disney Plus show, I believe. Very
Yeah.
well-known Marvel character.
Yeah.
We have an interesting relationship with Moon Knight and our community
Mhm.
where
We
he's
don't-
beloved
Yeah.
Right.
and considered to be one of the best Marvel heroes
really?
by far. But I don't know anyone we've never read Moon Knight comics, and it's funny to think of him as Marvel's Batman. But
It's 100% Marvel.
So you think
Batman.
it was you?
I know that I did Moon Knight. It was for like a Marvel pinball game. It was not good.
Moon Knight. Hold on.
Wait, it's all coming back to me now.
did you trick them?
I would never. Unless it was this game, and I did. You're right, you both played Moon Knight. You played him in Marvel Ultimate Alliance, according to IMDb.
Oh,
The
could be a lot.
original? The original
Yeah.
Ultimate Alliance?
Have you gone through your IMDb? Is there anything erroneous on there?
That's what I tried to
never
find.
gone.
I found the Bratz thing, which I was like, I thought that I was like,
it
no
was
way, no one.
male
remember that.
shopkeeper. No, because that one stuck out to me. It's just because big games, oh kids, whatever, blah blah. I play. That is the I just couldn't believe. I mean, I'm just gonna get sued or something. Maybe nobody cares. But I remember some of the dialogue. Some of the dialogue on that stuff was like, oh hey, would you like your child to be super disrespectful to anybody? Let him play that.
Yeah. Bratz is the game
Oh
for them.
my
The game
God.
for you.
Yeah.
Wow.
BRATZ. They can't even spell it right.
They tried.
Why? How do you spell it?
Well, I'd love to thank you guys for coming by today.
But you won't.
Especially James.
Thank you. It's been a
Alright.
pleasure.
It's the best Andy
Should've
Richter I've
introduced
ever
myself at the
had.
beginning.
Please check out Retro Replays or
Please.
anywhere else we can see you guys. I don't know if you have, 1, 2, 6,000 projects in the works right now. I know you're all working on
There's a
stuff.
few coming out. Death Stranding is coming out in November. The Last of Us Part 2 is coming out in the future.
Oh yeah, no.
And we're working together again on Avengers. It comes
yeah.
out in May of
Cool.
2020.
May 2020.
That's been a lot of fun. And
I played Bruce Banner.
and I am the
Why is
Iron
that
Man.
funny to you?
You nailed the character. You sound just like Edward Norton
Just
or Eric
like
Bana,
I mean,
whichever
that's
one you want to
mine.
be.
Yeah.
I am the Man of Iron.
I do more Bill Bixby.
He's saying goodbye.
You're
a
free
great
to go.
Lou Ferrigno.
Thank you guys.
You're
Thank
free
you.
to Ferrigno.
Thank you guys for joining us.
Yeah.
No, thank you. This has been a blast. Honestly, I'm still a little. I get flustered.
You're not so far away.
Yeah.
You guys should
We should
come
hang
back
out
more
more.
often.
That'd be
We should
cool.
do
Please,
some
yeah,
stuff.
we'll do it.
Like,
Come to our clubhouse. We'll
Okay.
maybe
We're gonna
go to
build a
yours.
club. We're gonna build a clubhouse. if
Really?
come-
You like
come-
board games?
Is that what all the wood
Yeah.
was?
board games?
That's all the
We
wood.
have a board game show.
Actually,
Play.
nobody's
bunch of
told
stuff.
them. This is ours now.
Oh,
Yeah.
So we're gonna
Well-
need
So
you to-
thank you so much for joining us on Retro Replay.
Damn it.
You click that button right there, and you can subscribe and say goodbye
the one with the
to
red light.
Alan and Joe. And there's my light.
I could see
Yeah.
1 or 2 seasons for some of these shows. I don't think that we're going to be talking about the WandaVision series in season 10, just because
I
I
don't
don't think you can sustain it. These are going to be really expensive
Gonna...
with big talent.
I pulled up 15 Moon Knight facts.
Right.
Oh,
I guarantee you I know at least 14 of them.
Moon Knight